on behalf of the Mindalia TV team, welcome to Mindalia live streaming. Thousands of people around the world gather daily to see the lectures, the interviews, the conferences that Mindalia.com is bringing you on a daily basis, as I said. Today in this space in English, we have the participation of Hada García. She has shared with us several times in Spanish, and this time she is bringing us her knowledge in English. The space that is about to start has been named Why Do I Eat If I'm Not Hungry? Hada García is a clinical psychologist and she is a life coach specialized in eating disorders and obesity. Before leaving you with her, I just want to remind you that you have several ways of collaborating with us. One of those is just liking, subscribing, interacting in any way with us in our different media and platform, and also leaving us a like or subscribing to any of our channels. You can do it in English, in Portuguese, in Spanish. We are bringing you content in several languages. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce you, to leave you with Hada García. Hada, welcome to Mindalia. How are you today?
Mirna, very happy to be here with you, to be sharing this knowledge with everyone, and in English, which is not my second language, it's my third language, so we'll see how it goes. I hope it goes well and everyone can enjoy this. Okay, so I'm going to start by sharing my personal experience. So, because the reason why I do this, the reason why I work with persons with eating disorders and with obesity, it's because I have lived something very similar to that. 5 years ago, I gained weight, and like when you gain weight, what do? I guess everyone tries to lose weight, no? In this society, everyone tell us that gaining weight is a problem. You cannot gain weight. So what I did is that I tried to lose that weight I gained, but nothing really worked. Why nothing really worked? Because I was trying to do different diets. And what happened to me is that every day I was telling myself, okay, today I start a new diet. Today is my new day. Now, everyone who has ever dieted or being in a diet knows that you tell yourself every day, okay, tomorrow I'm starting again, or I'm starting on Monday, or I'm starting in January. You know, each time a new year starts, everyone, it's our own promise. We promise to ourselves that we're gonna start a new diet and that we're gonna finally lose weight. So that's what I did. Every day I was telling myself, okay, tomorrow I start, on Monday I start, and what happened? I couldn't follow any of those diets. What happened was that I was starting a cycle where I was dieting and then I was binging. Now, and I felt very, very guilty because I was binging, I was overeating. Each time I thought that I was really controlling myself, then I wasn't controlling myself, and I was feeling horrible because I wasn't really getting what I wanted to get, that was losing weight. What was happening to me was that I was gaining more and more weight. So I was trying to solve a problem, and instead of solving it, everything was going worse and worse. So I was actually, one day I discovered that I was in this diet binge cycle, and it was very hard for me to stop that cycle, because I tried to go to a dietitian, and he gave me a new diet, because at some point I thought, okay, no, the problem is that the diets I'm trying to follow, I'm looking for them on the internet, so it's normal that I cannot follow them, because maybe I'm missing some nutrients, maybe I'm not eating some food I really need. So at some point I thought, okay, the key is going to a dietitian who is going to give me a real diet, a diet that really works. So I went to a dietitian and he gave me a diet that was supposed to work, and guess what? It didn't work either. So what was the problem? The problem is that diets don't work. And everyone tells us that diets work, and it's a lie. And I think everyone needs to know that it's a lie, because 95% of people who diets, they regain the weight they had lost. So everyone must know that diets don't work, and that seriously, it's a lie. And it's my personal mission, it's my personal purpose to tell everyone that diets don't work. So I really thought that my problem was that I was overeating, but actually my real problem was that I was restricting, that I was trying to restrict food, to control my relationship with food, and that was the problem. So why diets don't work? Diets don't work because they are stressful. When you are not eating what your body really needs, when you are not giving your body all the nutrients it needs to work, you start to be obsessed with food. Why? Because your body is trying to protect you from yourself. Your body doesn't know about losing weight. Your body just knows that you're hungry. And if you're hungry, you need to eat. So when you're dieting and you are not listening to the signals your body is giving you of hunger, what happens? That in the end, you start binging, you start overeating, because you're not listening to your body, and your body is trying to protect you from yourself. Your body doesn't want you to be hungry. Your body wants you to be fine, to be happy, to be okay. When you're hungry, you're stressed, you are obsessed with food because you need to eat. So your body gets you to eat in the end. So it's not a self-control problem. It's just your body trying to survive. So that's the main problem we have with diets. And the problem when we start dieting is that we completely disconnect from our body. We don't listen to our body anymore. So everything, we start to measuring food, we start weighing what we're gonna eat, we start counting calories. Everything is in our mind, in our brain, and we are completely disconnected from our body and from our hunger sensations. So that's the biggest problem with diet. So everyone who is listening to this today, I really, really want you to stop dieting, because it doesn't work. I have told you why it doesn't work. And the next problem that I really had is that I was trying to diet. Diet don't work. Diet disconnects you from your body. But then there is another thing, and it's emotional eating. When you're dieting, you don't listen to your body. You don't listen to your emotions. You don't listen to what is happening to you. You just try to lose weight and try to lose weight, and you want to lose your weight, but you never lose your weight. And there is another thing, which is emotional eating. What is emotional eating? Emotional eating is that you eat because other reasons that is not hunger. You eat because you're sad, because you're depressed, because you're stressed, because you feel lonely, or you use food as a reward. So when we diet, we don't go to the main reason why we are obese or why we are overweight. We don't go to the main reason why. We're just in a superficial thing, and we have to go deep and look at what is happening and really go deep and see emotionally what is happening to me. So it's very important to pay attention to our emotions instead of starting looking for a diet and trying to lose weight. Please, everyone, we have to listen to our emotions. What is happening to me? At that point, when I was trying to lose weight so hard, what was happening to me was that I had just broken up. My relationship just didn't work, and I couldn't live anymore with the guy I was living with. And I started gaining weight. I was eating more. Why? Because I was sad. And instead of paying attention to my sadness, because I broke up with that guy, and what I did was, okay, I'm going to keep up with my life. I'm going to work. I'm going to do my things, and I'll be okay one day. That's fine. I mean, everyone has had a relationship that hasn't worked. Everyone has been sad at some point, and I just didn't want to look at it. And I just started working a lot. I started studying a master's. I started doing a lot of sports, and also I started eating a little bit more, and I started gaining weight, and I just didn't pay attention to that. I was like, okay, I need to do my life, and I'm not going to pay attention to this. And that was the problem. Nowadays, I think that I should have paid attention to my emotion, to what was happening to me at that point. Because when we have emotional hunger, there are some keys that really let us know that we have emotional hunger. And instead of trying to diet, we need to work on these emotions. So, and maybe some people are wondering, how do I know if I'm eating because of my emotions, or if I'm eating because I have physical, real hunger? And I'm going to tell you some difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger. When you have emotional hunger, it just like, it comes on suddenly. It just appears in your life suddenly. And when you have physical hunger, you can wait. It appears little by little. No, it's something that goes very, very slowly. Whereas when we talk about emotional hunger, it's all of a sudden, and you feel that you need to eat something. Then when emotional hunger comes, you feel that you need to satisfy that need instantly. You need to eat very, very fast. Whereas when we have real hunger, we can wait. We can wait a little bit. We can keep on doing what we're doing. Also, when we have emotional hunger, we need to eat some specific kind of food, which is usually sugar or very salty things. You need to eat something very, very special. In my case, I wanted to eat biscuits all the time. It was like, I need biscuits. I need to eat biscuits now, and I cannot wait. Whereas when it's real hunger, you can look to different options. You can have an apple. You can eat something more healthy food. Whereas when it's emotional, you need it now, and it isn't healthy. Also, when you have emotional hunger, when you eat, even if your stomach is full, you don't feel satisfied. You feel that you need to eat more and more and more. You know, I used to go to the supermarket, and I used to buy biscuits. I used to buy biscuits, and I always told myself, I'm gonna eat 1 biscuit, 2 biscuits, 3 biscuits. But in the end, I ended up eating all of them because I was never satisfied. I always have the feeling that I needed to eat more and more. When we have physical hunger, we get satisfied, and we feel our body. We're connected to our body. So we feel when we have had enough. And then when we have emotional eating, after eating, we feel very guilty, and like we have shame. We feel bad because we know that we didn't want to eat that. We know that it wasn't food that we needed, so we feel bad. And also our body is so full that you feel that you're gonna explode, like your body isn't fine. So it's a problem, and it's an emotional problem. When we have physical hunger, we don't feel bad after eating. Even when we eat food that is not super healthy, when we end eating, we feel fine, and we can stop eating without finishing all that is on the plate. So those are the main difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger. And I think it's important that we pay attention to this before starting any kind of diet. Okay, and I really hope that if you have to remember just one thing about what I'm saying today, is that diet doesn't work, and that we need to pay attention to our emotions before starting any kind of diets. What kind of questions can we ask to ourselves if we want to know if we are an emotional eater or not? You can ask yourself if you eat more when you're stressed, for example. If you eat even if you're full, if you don't stop eating. Or if you eat to feel better, do I eat to feel better? Like when I eat, do I think that I'm going to feel better, but then in the end, I don't feel better? Do I reward myself with food? Do I often feel that I eat too much and I lose control with food? Do I feel that sometimes food controls my life and that I think about food even more than the rest of the people, or that I talk about food even more than everyone around me? All these questions are going to help you to see if you are an emotional eater or not. And then, what do we do if we discover that we are an emotional eater? What should we do? First of all, and you all know that by now, we don't have to start a diet. We have to start connecting to our body, and we have to connect with our internal regulation. Our body has a known internal regulation. Our body knows what he needs, know what is good for us. So please start eating every kind of food, but listening to your body. Okay, there is a theory that says, in case you are very worried about your weight, there is a theory that talks about the set point, and it suggests that our body has a weight, and its weight and it's predetermined to be in a way where it has to be. So please, your genetics and your hormones are gonna make you being in a weight that it's fine for you, where you don't have to diet, where you don't have to worry about your weight, where you don't have to do anything. You just have to try to eat healthy and let yourself eat chocolate or ice creams or whatever you want to eat, but listening to your body. At the beginning, when we talk about internal regulation or intuitive eating, everyone is a little bit worried because, for example, when I first discovered this, when I was eating this much, I was worried because I thought, if I listen to my internal regulation, I'm gonna eat everything. And it didn't happen. It happened the 3 first days because I was really worried. I was changing everything. I was doing new things. And so the first 3 days I was eating everything. And I was very worried because I was like, if I keep doing this, I'm gonna have a new problem. And then it didn't happen. What happened was that little by little, step by step, I was connecting to my body. I was finally listening to my real hunger, and I could really stop overeating and restricting. That was really my biggest problem, because as I said before, My problem was that I was trying to restrict. And I think everyone's problem is that they're trying to restrict. So we need to start eating intuitively. We need to listen to our body, and we need to try to eat healthy, but we cannot obsess with that. Just step by step. I eat, for example, for lunch, I can have a salad, but then if I feel that I want to eat an ice cream during the afternoon, eat it. Allow yourself to eat what you feel that you need to eat. Your body will regulate. And in the end, maybe you're gonna want that ice cream or that biscuit or whatever, but you won't binge it. You just will eat it when you really want to eat it. And how to eat this ice cream or this biscuit, there is a thing that it's called mindful eating that tell us that when we eat, we need to pay attention to our food. And this makes all the difference. When you're gonna eat, please, turn off the TV. Put your cell phone away and eat. Pay attention to your plate, moment by moment, without judging what you're eating. But please be aware of that moment, because sometimes when we eat, we are watching TV, we are looking at Instagram, or we're not paying attention to what we are really doing. So if I allow myself to eat whatever I want to eat, trying to eat healthy, but without obsessing, paying attention to my internal regulation, and I do all this mindfully, really being present in that moment, everything is gonna be easier. When we talk about intuitive eating or about mindful eating, we don't talk about calories, we don't talk about fat, we don't talk about protein. We completely forget about that. What we are really trying to do is to reconnect to our bodies. So I invite everyone to do that, to listen to your body and to eat mindfully. Another thing that really helps us to eat mindfully is to set the table in a way that is nice to us. Please don't eat in the kitchen fast. Please sit down in a table that you really like. Put your napkin, put your fork, put your knife, and please enjoy eating, because it will help you to be happier. In the end, eating is something that makes us happy, is something that it's a pleasure to eat. So when we are obsessed about food because we have diet a lot, we're not happy anymore, because there are so many places where you go and there is food. Now, it happened to me that in the end, there was a point in which I didn't want to go to parties. I didn't want to go to eat out because there was going to be food and I needed to follow my diet, and it was all crazy. So I invite everyone to reconnect to your body, to reconnect with food, and to start enjoying eating again. What happened to me in the end is that I discovered intuitive eating and I started following it, very scared, as I said before, but in the end, I discovered that it worked. In the end, I lost weight, but without dieting. I went back to my initial weight, to the weight I've been having during my entire life, when I stopped thinking about diets. I also have to say that I went to a psychologist that helped me pay attention to my emotion, because there was a point in which I felt very, very lost. I had lost all control. I mean, my relationship with food was very, very bad. And after going to the dietitian and seeing that it didn't work, I thought maybe I need to go to a psychologist. And I went to a psychologist, and that person really helped me to see that I needed to pay attention to my emotions instead of dieting. And she really, really helped me. So if I could give an advice to everyone, I would tell you that please pay attention to your emotions. Start asking yourself, what is really happening to me at this point of my life? Am I stressed? Am I sad? What is happening to me? And then everything is gonna go better. And your obsession with food will end, and you will finally lose weight, because you're gonna be really connected to your body, and that's what you really need. I think I have said everything that I need to say today. I just want to tell everyone that that I hope this really helps you. I hope you really find a new way to a new relationship with food, and yeah, and that's it. I really hope that this was helpful to you. I really hope that that at least one person that is listening to me today really feels free from food. No, I really hope that, and that's it. I mean, I think I have said everything for today.
Hada, thank you so much for sharing with us such an interesting information. Thank you for opening to us with your own story, and that I think that makes you more than qualified to be sharing this type of information. It's your own life that you walked in the shoes already of that experience that so many people experience on a daily basis. We are definitely in a world that profits from our insecurities. So my question would be, how do we gather the strength to just look the other way? Because the whole media, everything around us is telling you, starve yourself until you look a certain way. And the reality is that that's not the natural body structure that everybody has. And something that also it's for me very unsettling is the fact that not everybody has the time to follow a lifestyle that would allow to look the way people on TV looks, plus the fact that there's editing and Photoshop and whatnot. So where do we gather that strength from? Give us some insight on how to put our self-esteem in the right place to start the path.
Yeah, you have said many things very, very interesting. And I think that one of the most important things is to work on body adaptation. And we need to start accepting our body the way it looks. Because, as you said, media is always telling us that we need to lose weight. When we look at any social networking site, we always see people that have fantastic bodies according to what we have learned that is a fantastic body. So it's normal that when we compare ourselves to those bodies, we feel bad. We feel that our body doesn't look properly. And reality is that models, they have a job, which is showing their body, which is being kind of perfect. And also there is Photoshop, as you said. So first of all, we have to understand that those people get paid for eating well, going to the gym and doing whatever they want to do. And also there's a thing that I always think, that we see the bodies, we don't see their habits, we don't see how they behave with food, and we don't see their minds. We don't know how is their relationship with food. And this is important, because if you see someone that has a perfect body, but that person is obsessed with food or doesn't like her body, we have a problem. So the first thing to get that power, not to get the strength to do that, is to start to accept that our body is perfect the way it is. And that's what I did, actually. The first thing I started to work on was I don't need to change my body. And there was a point in which I was so tired of this war with food that I just thought, even if my body stays the way it is right now, I prefer that than this battle I have every day with food. So the first thing we have to start. The first step is to accept that our body is okay the way it is, even if it has 20 more kilos than it should have, or 20 less kilos than it should have. Our body is okay like that. And the most important thing is our mental health, is to be happy. That's the most important thing. So we have to accept that our body is fine, that there are different kind of bodies, that we all look different, and that models is just a very, very little percentage of population, and it's not reality. Nowadays, there is this movement of body positivity, and I think it's very useful for everyone to start following accounts or to start looking at pictures of different bodies, because our eyes are just used to seeing perfect bodies. And that's the problem. We compare our bodies to those perfect bodies, because those are the only bodies we actually see on a daily basis. So I would tell everyone to start following accounts of real bodies, of plus size women, because we need to start looking at different bodies, because all bodies exist in this world.
I love the approach that you're giving to this. Is a topic that, it's very close to home. And from Spain, we have a question from Sylvia. I was during long years trying to lose my extra kilos. Everything that you say is very interesting. But could this work even when we have to lose more than 15 kilos? I had this problem from always, all my life. And could this technique work for me? Thank you very much. And in the end, she also says that I am afraid to gain more weight. What do we say to Sylvia?
Sylvia, that happened to me. I was very scared when I started doing intuitive eating. I was very scared of gaining more weight, but in the end I lost 10 kilos. So what I have to tell you is that this works for everyone, but we don't have to put the attention in losing weight. We have to put the attention in changing our habits, in changing the way we eat, and in regulate our emotions. That's where we have to really, that's what we have to focus. Because if you focus on only losing weight, which is what diets do, you go someplace and someone gives you a diet, or you look on the internet and you have a diet, and the only objective of diets is to lose weight. You have to forget that. Losing weight is a part of changing habits and of feeling well and of feeling happy with yourself. So if you start eating intuitively, if you start doing mindful eating, if you start paying attention to your emotion, if you start loving yourself the way you are, it's going to be easier for you to, in the end, lose weight. But your objective doesn't have to be losing weight. It has to be loving yourself the way you are. Because when you start loving yourself and your body the way you are, you're going to take care of yourself in a better way. You're gonna really eat well because you love yourself, not because you hate yourself. You're gonna eat well because you want to have a healthy body, not because you hate your body. And this starting point changes everything. So please work on accepting your body, work on loving yourself, work on wearing clothes in where you feel sexy, where you feel good, when you look at the mirror and you say, I'm great with this dress or with these jeans or whatever. Don't wait until you lose weight to finally wear a dress or to finally wear makeup or to finally, please do everything you want to do now. Don't wait until you lose weight. But yeah, all of this in the end is gonna make you lose weight. But losing weight is the last thing you have to worry about.
Thank you for that answer. I had this idea of asking you about the myths regarding nutrition, but I think that this is exactly what we've been doing. We have been sharing with us so much information about how wrong we are regarding the nutrition. Now, there is a term that I loved, and it's bio-individuality. It's like the diet industry. It's $1 million industry, and it's sadly intended to, of course, not keep us healthy, but keep us looking a certain way. And one of the things that I find interesting is how it is directed towards a certain type of body. It very rarely is addressed or channeled towards the individual bodies. Everybody has a different chemistry, a different genetics. So how would you approach that? How would you approach the fact that we shouldn't be doing some diet that we saw on the internet that worked on a model in Australia that has a complete different set of genes that has nothing to do with who we are in our biochemical components?
I mean, I'm against diet, so I just think that we don't have to follow any diet, and it's completely true what you're saying. If, for example, you follow a diet or a way of eating, and I follow exactly the same way of eating, in the end, we're gonna have different bodies, because, as I said, if we look at the set point theory, we all have a weight. Our body has a shape, and our body naturally goes to that shape when we eat healthy and when we're happy. So if you read whatever model actress in Australia lost 15 pounds by doing whatever diet, it was hair. It doesn't mean that it's gonna work on you. And it doesn't mean that in the end, you're gonna have that body. It just means it worked for her. And we don't even know if she really did that diet, because there's a lot of marketing. And we also don't know what happened to that model or to that person 3 years later, or 2 years later, or a month later. So every diet works different on everybody, on each single body. As I said, if you and we eat the same thing, we're gonna have different bodies, and we have to accept that, because there is many kind of different bodies. There is body diversity, and if your cousin eats a salad and loses weight, it doesn't mean that you're gonna lose weight, because there is also these psychological facts that also that also have an effect on the way our body looks. If we are stressed, we're gonna gain more weight. If we are relaxed, we're gonna lose weight easier. It's gonna be easier for us to lose weight. So it depends on many things.
Thank you. There is something that you just said that I find super interesting. And you just said that we don't know what happened to that model after the diet. I've never thought of that. Like, we always see the process, we see the before, we see the after, right after finishing the diet, and we never see if there's any impact on their vital organs, if there's any impact in the actual self-esteem through, because there's some sort of destruction process that may happen when you are forcing yourself to comply with such a strict thing. It is super interesting. Let me ask you something. As we finish, and we're almost at the end of this conversation, what are your closing thoughts? What is that thing that you wish that everybody knew, or that thing that, let me phrase it better. If you had the chance to go back and talk to the self, that the woman you were when you were faced with that problem, what would you say?
Wow, that's a very deep question. Well, if I had to talk to that Ada, to that past Ada, I would tell her, first of all, that dieting is a very bad idea. And I would also tell her that when you're sad or when something doesn't go right in your life, it's normal to gain weight. It's normal to eat a little bit more. And it's not a problem. We can all gain weight at some point in our life. It's normal that our body changes, is something natural, no? Because society tells us that gaining weight is like the worst thing that can ever happen to you. And no, it just happens, and it can happen, and it's not the end of the world. I mean, yeah, you can weigh 10 more kilos and it's fine. I mean, it's not a problem. The only really important thing is to be happy and to have to be healthy, to be mentally healthy. Because at that point, my mental health wasn't fine. I was sad. I wasn't paying attention to what was happening to me. So I would tell myself, it's not a big problem to gain weight. It can happen. It's part of your life. Please pay attention to what it's going to you, to what is happening to you emotionally. Pay attention to your sadness. Pay attention of how lonely you feel. Pay attention of how low is your self-esteem. That when you gain weight, you start to feel bad about yourself and you lose confidence. So yeah, that's what I would tell to myself right now.
Thank you so much. We have reached the end of this space, and I want to thank you on behalf of the Mindalia community and on behalf of everyone that may see, afterwards this video, and that, may have this situation close to their hearts. Everything is gonna be fine. And never to tie your own worth and your own value with what you see in the scale. It has nothing to do. How would you say goodbye to the Mindalia community for now?
Bye everyone. Thanks for being here, and please love and accept your body no matter what.
Thank you again. It's been a great pleasure, and to the people that have been with us, thank you again. We are sending you all our heart, all our gratitude. It's been a great pleasure, and we're gonna see you again very soon in the next Mindalia live streaming. Bye bye.